Have you ever imagined what it would feel like to be wrapped in a story of black and white, where every step is padded with green? Tonight, let the forest fold around you. Find your place now, a blanket, a pillow, a chair that holds you like a quiet hand. Dim the lights, loosen your shoulders, and breathe in slowly. Hold it for a slow count, and breathe out like a leaf drifting from a bamboo stalk. Let your eyelids soften. Remember to like and subscribe for more. So let's dive into our story. What does a life feel like when it is lived between bamboo ribs and cloud-wrapped ridges, where time moves in slow mouthfuls and the world is kept in a palette of green night? We will move slowly through that life. We will watch a panda chew the day into long, peaceful hours, and we will listen to the forest show us its small, secret ways. Chapter 1: The Green Cathedral, where pandas dwell. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a mountain wrapped in mist. The slopes fold one into the next, each ridge a quieter echo of the last. Bamboo grows here like living columns in a cathedral, leaves whispering in the wind. That is home for the giant panda steep, cool forests somewhere in the highlands. They prefer the places where mist lingers and bamboo is thick enough to be a lifetime of meals. Imagine walking through a narrow path hemmed by bamboo. Each stalk is a pale green pillar, and the light that filters through becomes soft and gold. The ground is a carpet of fallen leaves, and the air smells of damp earth and young shoots. A panda knows this place as a map not drawn with cities or roads, but with plates of edible green, where the shoots are young and tender, where the leaves are fat and full, where the stalks are thick and satisfying. This is a life written by the bamboo. Pandas choose homes by where the bamboo grows best, by what the landscape can feed them through all seasons. They wander along the folds of the mountains as if following a recipe written in green dot. Chapter 2: A Coat of Ink and Snow. The pandas. Gentle design. When a panda moves, it looks as if a slow brushstroke has come alive. Soft circles of black around the eyes, black ears like inked stones, and the rest of its body a blanket of white. But each mark, each curve has a purpose. The dark patches around the eyes may help reduce glare, or help pandas recognize one another from a distance. The dark shoulders and limbs might blur against the forest shadows when the panda stands still, like a shadow choosing to rest. Beneath that coat is a body shaped by both power and patience. Their jaws are strong enough to crush bamboo. Their teeth are broad, their molars flat and heavy with the work of grinding. Their front paws hide a marvelous detail, a widened wrist bone that works like a thumb. An accidental opposable helper nature gave them so they could grasp bamboo stems more easily. Watch a panda hold a stalk so gently, so expertly, and you will see the hand of gentle engineering. Though sturdy, they can move with surprising ease. They climb, they wade in cold streams, they roll like soft stones down slopes when they play. There is a slow grace to every movement, as if they are aware of the forest's pace and choose never to hurry it. Chapter 3: The Daily Hymn. Chewing, swallowing, repeating. A panda's day is a hymn to bamboo. If you could sit beside one, you would notice a quiet, dependable ritual. Find the tender stems, pull them close, and begin the slow work of eating. They eat for long stretches, sometimes 10 to 16 hours of the day, not because they love variety, but because bamboo is low in calories and a panda needs a lot of it to fill the belly. Picture a panda sitting like a painter at an easel, the bamboo between its paws, each chew measured as if tasting a poem. Stems snap, leaves whisper, and the world narrows to the simple pleasure of food. They favor young shoots when they can find them, soft, sweet, full of life, but they will also eat leaves and stalks, depending on the season. When bamboo flowers in cycles and withers, they travel to find new patches. Like someone traveling to a new town to continue a long-lost routine. Eating is not only fuel, it's also comfort. There is an almost ritualistic quality to it, a slow meditation that steadies the panda's day. Chapter 4. The Map of Movement, Territories, Trails, and Scent Stories. Pandas are solitary cartographers. Rather than maps of roads, their territories are drawn with scent. They wander along trails worn by padded feet and mark trees and rocks with secret messages. These messages are written with scent glands rubbed against bark, small mole-like notes saying, "I passed here," or "I am ready," or "keep away." They don't live in packs, but in a tapestry of single lives, overlapping slightly at the edges. Sometimes territories meet, sometimes they are separated by a valley or a stream. The coming together happens cautiously, a sniff, a glance, the soft exchange of sound. Pandas may call with light bleats and honks, but much of their conversation is invisible and slow. Imagine standing with a tree and feeling the faint ghost of another panda's presence. That's how they speak. It's a language of weathered bark and persistent whiffs that tell a story of where one has been, whether they are a male or female, and if they might be open to company. Chapter 5. The Music of Quiet, Sounds, and Signals. Although they are quiet by nature, pandas do speak when needed. Their sounds are not the thunder of wolves or lions, but small, intimate noises, a bleating call like a goat's, a little honk, a chirp that rolls into the wind. Mothers and cubs have their own soft exchanges, a private language of comfort and recognition. The night adds another layer, the rustle of bamboo, the far call of birds, the soft tap of a panda's breathing. In the hush of the mountain, those small sounds become vast and meaningful. They are the punctuation between long stretches of chewing and sleeping. Chapter 6. Love is a narrow window, courtship and mating. Once each year, maybe a little more, a female opens a very narrow window of readiness, just a few days when she is fertile. Imagine a calendar where one page in a year is lit, and everything depends on that small, bright chance. Males smell the air, search ridgelines, and use calls and scent markings to find that luminous day. Courtship is typically delicate and careful. There may be shy chases, echoing calls across valleys, and careful circles around one another. Because the window is so small, sometimes pandas in the wild do not find a mate each year. This is one reason scientists have learned to support breeding in captivity, not to replace nature, but to help when nature's timing and the shrinking of landscapes make it harder. Chapter 7. The Miracle of a Cub, Birth, Fragility, and Wonder. When a panda cub is born, it is a whisper of life. Think of the smallest thing you have held. Now imagine something even smaller, weighing only a few handfuls, pink and almost hairless and utterly dependent. A newborn panda is astonishing for how tiny and fragile it is, compared to the adult form it will one day become. The first days are all hunger and warmth. A mother will cradle the cub against her chest, clean it, and feed it often, like a lamp tended through a long night. The cub is blind at first. It cannot walk. Its little heartbeat is a drum the mother learns by touch and breath. Slowly, as days pass, fur grows. The black patches appear like a painter, adding ink, and strength builds in those small limbs. There are stories among keepers of mothers who spend weeks with hardly any time to eat themselves, nursing and grooming their cubs. With an almost religious devotion, motherhood is an intense, all-absorbing season. Chapter 8, Growing. The awkward grace of play and learning. As a cub grows, life becomes exploration. The world is suddenly a playground of rocks and low branches, and the cub moves with the particular clumsiness of learning. It rolls down small slopes, discovers its reflection in a puddle, and practices climbing by grabbing at low trunks that are almost as big as it is. Each tumble is a lesson. Each climb is an exercise in building the bones and the skill that will one day carry it across a mountain. Young pandas play with the reckless patience of children. They wrestle with siblings, if there are any, chase each other through bamboo like wind, and practice mock fights. These are important lessons, not just for fun, but for learning boundaries, strength, and the curious language of body posture that will help them later in adulthood. Chapter 9. The Rhythm of Seasons. How panda life bends with the year. Across the seasons, a panda's life moves like the slow pulley of sunlight. Spring brings fresh shoots and a tender menu. Summer offers lush abundance. Autumn readies the stalks for the leaner months. Winter calls for resilience when some bamboo species die back or become frost-kissed. Pandas respond by shifting elevation, moving up or down the slopes to where bamboo species come into season. In some years, a bamboo species will flower and then die, leaving a patch suddenly empty. Pandas who live in such places must wander more searchingly or risk hunger. That's why connected forests and corridors from one mountain ridge to another are so important. They allow pandas to follow the green. Chapter 10. Small Oddities and Big Facts. Curious Panda Traits. There is a list of small and lovely oddities about pandas that feel like secrets whispered to the forest. For example, that false thumb helps them hold bamboo like a practiced diner holding a comforting bowl, or that they are technically part of the bear family, though they live like herbivores, or that, even in their gentle way, they can be surprisingly strong, powerful jaws, heavy teeth, and a solidity that protects them when they need it. Sometimes they eat a small animal or an egg, a reminder that their diet is not absolutely fixed. Other times, they will graze like a patient farmer, tending a single crop. Their gait can look a bit waddling, yet when a panda climbs, it does so with a miner's focus and a child's curiosity. Chapter 11. Mothers and the Long Apprenticeship. There is a particular tenderness to speak of when it comes to mothers. A mother panda's patience is the template for a life. She will teach a cub where the tenderest shoots grow, which trail leads to a safe water source, how to scent a neighbor instead of meeting it face to face. She will stay close while the cub experiments and will only gradually encourage independence. The moment when the cub wanders farther and farther is both a quiet sorrow and a quiet joy. the letting go of one life as another begins. I want to linger on one imagined evening, the mother and cub on a slope, sun lowering like a gentle coin. The cub practices climbing and falls with a small, indignant sound. The mother does not scold. She sits, fans her tail like a small, warm flag, and then reaches with a soft paw to the cub, rearranging it into a safe spot. Later, as the stars thin out, the cub curls against her and breathes, and the world sounds like a sea of bamboo. That small breathing is a lullaby that the mother herself listens to like a hymn. Chapter 12, the human chapter. How we altered the map. For centuries, pandas occupied a wider swath of land across more temperate lowlands and mountain slopes. Slowly, as people turned forests into fields and roads cut ridges apart, the pandas' map shrank and became fragmented. Small populations became islands of bears, separated by highways and farms. When a population is cut off, new cubs and potential mates cannot cross, and genetic diversity can suffer. Yet humans also arrived with another story, that of protection. Laws were written, reserves were created. People began to see the panda's life as worthy of deliberate guarding, not only as a marvel to visit at a zoo, but as a living thread in the tapestry of a mountain ecosystem. Where protection grew, pandas responded. Careful reforestation, reserve networks, and corridors that reknit the landscape have helped some populations stabilize. It's a complicated story, one of both loss and hope, and one that shows how humans have the power to harm and to heal. Chapter 13, Conservation in Patient Hands, Corridors, Reserves, and Science. Conservation can be quiet work, planting bamboo, reconnecting a path where a road once severed it, speaking with local farmers to find ways to live beside wildlife so both can thrive. Scientists study how pandas use the landscape, which slopes they prefer, where they find the most tender shoots, and how cubs fare when released from captivity back into the wild. Breeding programs and reintroduction efforts are careful, step projects that require patience, experience, and sometimes a little luck. There are stories of success, small populations growing, corridors making an island of green into a connected sea. There are also stories of ongoing challenge, climate change, nudging bamboo ranges uphill, human development pressing at the edge of protected areas. The work continues because recovery is slow, and because pandas themselves lead a slow life that cannot be hurried. Chapter 14, The Science of Studying Pandas, Cameras and Quiet Observation. Imagine a camera hidden like a secret window in a tree, watching as a mother builds a nest or a cub discovers its first rock. Researchers use remote cameras, trackers, and the slow accumulation of field notes to understand what a panda needs. Careful observation reveals little things that save lives, which bamboo species to plant in a reserve, how to design corridors that are actually used, which food supplements help a recovering panda. Zoos, too, have become places of learning. Their caretakers learn how to encourage natural behaviors, design enrichment activities that keep pandas mentally and physically active, and support mothers during the all-consuming first months of cub rearing. The lessons learned in those quiet places often travel back to the mountains and improve outcomes for wild bears. Chapter 15, Stories and Myths, Pandas in the Web of Culture. Across time, people have put pandas into stories, sometimes as gentle spirits of the forest, sometimes as symbols of calm. For many, a panda stands as a bridge between the wild and the human world. Children draw pandas into their notebooks, and poets borrow their quiet presence as a metaphor for tranquility. These stories matter. They are the songs that keep attention alive, the myths that motivate people to protect a species. When a community values a panda not only as a tourist attraction, but as part of their own story, that value becomes a powerful force for conservation. Chapter 16: Little Known Whispers. Surprising details that warm the heart. There are small facts that feel like secrets shared behind a curtain. A panda's newborn is tiny enough to fit in a human hand, changing into that round, black and white wonder in a matter of weeks. Pandas sometimes roll like children in snow, making the mountain feel like a playground. They sometimes eat small birds or rodents when the moment arises, a reminder that life resists simple categories. And then there are the individual quirks, pandas that prefer a particular patch of bamboo and return to it like a beloved cafe, pandas that enjoy splashing in streams on hot days, and those that sometimes look directly at a camera with an expression so reflective it feels almost like recognition. Chapter 17: How you can be part of the story. You might wonder how one person can matter. The answer lives in small, steady acts. Learn, share, support an organization that protects habitat. If you travel, choose responsible tourism that helps local communities and respects wildlife. Tell stories of pandas that lift up the complexity of their lives instead of reducing them to cute faces. Advocate for sustainable products and policies that protect forests. Even small donations help a reserve. Plant new bamboo or support ranger patrols. Education efforts, teaching children and adults about the role of wildlife in local ecosystems. Build a long, slow culture of care. Chapter 18: Extended Lullaby, a slow song for the mountains. Now, let me sing a little longer lullaby for you and for the panda. Let moonlight stitch silver on your quiet day, nibble the stalks, and fold into rest, mountains. Cradle you in a green, gentle nest, breath like a bell, slow and round. Leaves murmur songs without a sound. Dream of high ridges and soft, drifting snow, where the rivers go low and the moon hangs slow. Sleep now, small cub, wrapped in fur, and will breathe with your mother, who hushes you still. The world is wide, but tonight it is near, a whisper of leaves and a heartbeat clear. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Chapter 19: A long evening with a panda mother. Detailed scene. Let me take you into a long, careful scene I imagine. The mother preparing a nest in late autumn. The sun is soft and the air is thin. You can almost see the pattern of her hands, the same way she will later arrange her cub. With each slow movement, she is building comfort out of the same material she eats each day, as if the forest itself is being folded into a bed. When the cub arrives, the mother's life squeezes inward to that tiny form. She sleeps in short bursts, awakens at the slightest stir, and listens with the kind of attention that turns every small noise into a story. She will eat only when she must, always returning her attention to the cub. Days become a choreography of watchful tenderness, nursing, cleaning, grooming, listening, nudging, and teaching. Weeks move into months, The cub learns to climb a little, then more, and each small victory is celebrated with a soft nudge or a patient tap. By the time the cub is months old, it starts to taste bamboo. The first chewing is clumsy, teeth scraping awkwardly against stems, and the mother watches like a teacher at the edge of the playground, proud and a little weary. The day will come when it steps farther away, testing the boundary of independence. The mother will allow it, and she will watch until the path ahead is quiet again. Chapter 20. Questions that linger like evening mist. There are still questions that scientists and caretakers ask in quiet offices and field huts. How will bamboo's range shift over the next decades? Which corridors most urgently need protection? How can rural communities be empowered to steward land in ways that benefit both people and pandas? Each question leads to another small project, planting. It is not only about saving a species for a single trophy moment, but about knitting a future where forests breathe and rivers sing and pandas can continue their slow, beautiful lives. Chapter 21. An even longer lullaby, verses to drift on. Now, one last, longer lullaby, a slightly longer verse to carry you deeper. Speak it in a voice as soft as falling leaves. Hush now, the mountain hums low. Bamboo boughs where the cool winds blow. Paws press the earth, slow and round. Dreams ripple softly without a sound. Moon threads silver through black and white. Turn the day's pages into night. Little cubs nestle, mothers keep. The mountains rock them, steady and deep. Sleep until dawn paints a new green. Wake to the hush, where the young shoots lean, eat, breathe, wander, and climb. The forest keeping your rhythm in time. If the story touched you, let it nudge, a small act. Share this calm story with someone who needs it. Learn about places where panda habitat is protected. Support the slow, patient work of people who plant bamboo, stitch together corridors, and teach communities how to live beside wildlife. The panda's future is not simply a single program or a single reserve. It is a culture of care that we build together. Before we close, make sure you are comfortable. Let your limbs sink into the mattress or chair. Allow one final deep inhale. Hold it for a breath and let it go as if untying a ribbon. Feel the quiet blanketing your skin like a soft scarf. If you liked this story, subscribe for more slow journeys into the lives of gentle creatures. For now, let your eyes close if they are heavy. Let the bamboo sway in your mind and carry you where dreams and soft mountains meet.